following the death of his parents, a young boy named Yuri inherits his family mansion, but cannot afford servants. He attempts to run the mansion alone but fails spectacularly. A maid named Lilith appears at his front door. He deems her suspicious, even more so when she offers to work for no salary, but is ultimately convinced by her serious demeanor and intense purple eyes. Despite Lilith being excellent at her job, Yuri only grows more suspicious of her and cannot stop thinking about her. Lilith is aware of his suspicion, but seems amused by it and even teases him, though she becomes flustered when Yuri admits he finds her beautiful. Believing her to be a magician, he demands to know her intentions, but she playfully insists her motives remain secret, which only raises Yuri's suspicions further. Yuri finds her awake in the kitchen at midnight and accuses her of having ensnared him with a love potion, though she is actually learning to cook his favorite foods. When Lilith addresses him by name as one's spouse would, Yuri insists she stop until they grow to know each other better. Lilith is shown to possess a photo of Yuri, and in a flashback, is shown receiving a letter shortly after the death of Yuri's parents that causes her to immediately travel to his mansion. Lilith buys Yuri gifts, making him believe she is trying to win his affection, so he embarrasses her by declaring he will win her over instead. When Lilith disappears, he grows suspicious until he finds her playing with a stray cat. Yuri reveals he is afraid of cats but wants to conquer that fear. While Lilith is gone, another more aggressive cat appears, but Yuri drives it away and befriends the stray cat. Lilith is visibly jealous of Yuri petting the cat, becoming embarrassed when Yuri also pets her. Yuri sketches morning glory flowers but refuses to show Lilith until the sketch is finished. Believing a love potion to be behind his attraction to Lilith's dishes, Yuri asks to learn to cook, embarrassing her by his praise of her food and his offer to marry her. Lilith later finds the morning glory sketch where Yuri has compared the beauty of the flowers to her eyes. Yuri is suspicious about what Lilith does after he goes to bed, but falls asleep before he can find out. It is revealed Lilith waits until he falls asleep so she can watch him sleeping. Before he leaves for school, Lilith fusses over Yuri, which reminds him of his parents. Lilith becomes bored in Yuri's absence. At school, a girl named Tsukasa tries to talk to Yuri, but is too nervous. Lilith arrives to pick him up from school despite his orders not to. Tsukasa sees them together and is immediately suspicious of their relationship, especially when she overhears Yuri casually discussing Lilith's beauty and excitedly believes both of them to be in a taboo relationship. Tsukasa's butler, Fujisaki, arrives and recognizes Lilith, who asks Tsukasa to continue being a good friend to Yuri. Lilith stays out late stubbornly trying to find a certain fish for Yuri's dinner, but it is sold out everywhere. She misses the last train but is driven home by a passing Fujisaki. When Lilith arrives home, a tearful Yuri accuses her of bewitching him to miss her when she is gone. She admits to bewitching him, but also congratulates him for coping so well without her. Lilith worries Yuri is growing more suspicious of her, as he is convinced his attraction to her is the result of magic. As he monitors her constantly, she unsuccessfully tries to assuage Yuri's suspicions. Lilith suggests they play chess, and Yuri admits he used to play chess with his father and remembers his mother trying to make pudding in the meantime. Lilith offers to play chess with Yuri whenever he wants, which makes him happy. The next day, Yuri returns from school unhappy, so Lilith makes him pudding but is shocked when he accepts it without suspicion. Yuri reveals that his school is holding an open house, but worries that others would be as attracted to her as he is. Lilith, relieved that Yuri is still suspicious of her, becomes determined to attend. Yuri is sad that Lilith does not arrive with other parents, but becomes happy when she arrives in a butler's uniform borrowed from Fujisaki. Yuri is practicing for a sports festival and invites Lilith to attend so she can watch him compete. Tsukasa continues to spy on them, so Fujisaki tries to distract her by appearing cute. Following practice, Lilith offers to massage an exhausted Yuri. Her skill makes him suspicious. Tsukasa's parents are unable to attend the festival, so Fujisaki offers to attend, not realizing until too late that Tsukasa has manipulated her. Yuri is especially competitive during the festival, and Tsukasa suspects he is trying to impress Lilith. Lilith claims Yuri will receive a reward if he wins, causing Tsukasa to jump to conclusions. Lilith is surprised when Yuri reveals she has to compete in the parents' obstacle race, but wins first place after he cheers for her. After his classmates complain that a maid competing is unfair, Yuri claims Lilith to be his precious family instead. Lilith is caught in the rain and jokingly asks Yuri to join her for a bath, but becomes flustered when he claims they can't because they're not married yet. Lilith begins acting strangely and Yuri confirms the rain gave her a fever. Lilith laments being sidelined from her maid duties, but Yuri insists she focus on recovering. Lilith is perplexed when Yuri starts helping with chores and wants to spend even more time with her. Tsukasa invites Yuri to her Halloween party, so he decides to go as a sorcerer. Yuri insists Lilith wear a costume, so she dresses as a dragon girl, which drives Tsukasa mad with fantasies about their love life. Fujisaki is deeply embarrassed when Tsukasa forces her to wear a princess outfit for a photo shoot. The next day, Lilith receives letters in the post. Yuri finds he is less suspicious of Lilith lately, but his suspicion returns when she tries to hide the letters. She reveals that her former employer, who she has been hiding from, has ordered her to return. Yuri refuses to let her go, claiming himself to still be under her suspicious magic spell and she is his maid and no one else's. Lilith throws away the letters, and Yuri hugs her for the first time. Yuri thinks about Lilith constantly. Tsukasa realizes he is oblivious, so she tells him he is in love. Lilith is concerned when Yuri ignores her, even when she teases him suggestively. Yuri almost asks her about love, but decides to ask Tsukasa instead. Yuri worries Lilith might leave one day, though Tsukasa insists Lilith is happiest with Yuri. To attempt to explain love, Tsukasa invites him to read her romance light novels, but Fujisaki confiscates them before Yuri can be corrupted. Yuri returns to normal, confusing Lilith again. As part of an art assignment, Yuri decides to draw Lilith to expose her true nature, initially causing Lilith to fear he means to draw her naked. Yuri is repeatedly unsatisfied with his drawing and begins to lose sleep. As he tries to sleep, he confesses to Lilith his confusion and worries he knows nothing about the real her. Lilith helps him sleep with a lullaby his mother used to sing. Yuri awakens well rested but forgets what he and Lilith talked about. He insists Lilith sleep beside him again, though Lilith worries she is in danger of becoming sleep deprived too. Despite Yuri's drawing of Lilith not being finished to his satisfaction, it wins an award during art class. Yuri is suspicious when Lilith goes out nicely dressed and fears she has a date with someone. Lilith meets Fujisaki at a cafe and remembers that when they were at school Fujisaki was a delinquent, but abruptly changed after graduation. Lilith realizes the change was caused by her meeting Tsukasa and hopes she and Yuri will be similarly close one day. Fujisaki tells Lilith that if she wants Yuri to open his heart to her, she needs to do the same, which Lilith is unsure about. Yuri, who had been following her, quickly returns home and confronts her. Overhearing her and Fujisaki had caused him to remember that when he was younger, his parents had brought a girl who was lonely and unapproachable into the house. He now realizes it was Lilith. She had often sung him his mother's lullaby when his mother was away. Lilith wants to tell him everything, but Yuri decides he needs to remember on his own. Tsukasa notices Yuri acting differently and is convinced he and Lilith have made some progress with their relationship. Her reaction makes Yuri realize that his feelings towards Lilith are not of suspicion, but of love. He rushes home and immediately confesses his love to Lilith, but before she can respond, they are both confronted by another maid who demands Lilith return with her immediately. Lilith explains that she and the maid, named Natsume, previously worked for the same employer. Natsume is disappointed that Lilith serves a child and determines that Yuri's educational level and lack of wealth makes him an unsuitable master in spite of everything he does seeming to impress Lilith. Lilith confronts Natsume over being obsessed with her and demands she respect her wish to stay with Yuri. Having recently realized his own feelings for Lilith, Yuri realizes Natsume probably loves Lilith too. Natsume eventually admits she loves Lilith. Yuri returns to school and Lilith resumes her duties. Natsume refuses to believe Lilith is happy serving Yuri, though she cannot reconcile this belief with how he and Lilith act around each other. Yuri also observes Natsume and doubts she is a maid like Lilith, which is only proven when Natsume burns food and causes more messes than she manages to clean. This actually makes Lilith nostalgic, as she would always clean up after Natsume's mistakes. As Lilith and Natsume bathe together, Lilith confides to Natsume that she has no idea how to respond to Yuri's earlier declaration of love. Natsume begrudgingly admits Yuri is a good master and he clearly makes Lilith happy, though she doesn't tell Lilith why, deciding Lilith needs to realize it on her own. Yuri tells Tsukasa about Natsume, who is excited that Yuri seemingly has a rival for Lilith's love. Natsume arrives to collect Yuri from school and sees Fujisaki, who she is scared of. Natsume plans to leave soon, but as it is almost Christmas, she wants to buy a gift for Lilith first. Two older boys try to bully Yuri, and though Natsume saves him, she is impressed that he stood up to them. Natsume asks for Yuri's help to plan a surprise Christmas party for Lilith, so Yuri tells Lilith he is spending Christmas with Tsukasa, which visibly disappoints her. Natsume then invites Lilith out on Christmas so Yuri, Tsukasa and Fujisaki can prepare in her absence. Natsume struggles to make conversation with Lilith, but they have fun nonetheless. Lilith buys Natsume hair ornaments and Natsume gifts Lilith a pen, asking her to write letters to her after she leaves. Returning to the mansion, Natsume is the one who is surprised, as Yuri had plotted with Lilith beforehand to throw the party for Natsume instead. The party is a success, and after Tsukasa returns home and Natsume falls asleep, Yuri leaves her a Christmas gift, a pair of woolen mittens Lilith helped him knit himself. Lilith is greeted by her former master. Natsume, out shopping with Yuri, admits to him that he has made her confident enough to confess to the man she loves, that being her and Lilith's master. Master is happy that Lilith enjoys working for Yuri. Lilith reveals that when she was young her parents suddenly vanished, so two friends of theirs, Yuri's parents, took her in, leading her to become a maid to repay them. It was during her training at Master's mansion that Yuri's parents died and she left to look after Yuri immediately. Yuri, having arrived home with Natsume, is afraid Lilith is leaving, but Master assures him he is just there to collect Natsume. After Master and Natsume leave, an awkward atmosphere remains, as Yuri and Lilith have not been alone for some time. Lilith asks if Yuri wants to go anywhere and agrees when he asks if it is a date. In town, Tsukasa spots them together but is stopped from following them by Fujisaki. Under the glow of the Christmas lights, Lilith is finally brave enough to ask what kind of love Yuri has for her. Yuri says he doesn't know yet but looks forward to finding out with her. The following snowy morning, Lilith and Yuri make snowmen of each other, and Lilith becomes embarrassed when Yuri adds 6 snow children next to them.